Hey, everybody. So, with a lot of school systems closing down and going to online instruction over the next few weeks, I wanted to put together a short little tutorial to help you guys out if any of you want to try to do more one on one stuff with your students. So, I do a lot of one on one conferencing with my students as they work throughout the week. So, having to teach them from home makes it a little bit difficult. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using a combination of Google Meet with the appointments task in Google Calendar to set up office hours for my students. So, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of kind of how that works. So, first things first, Google Meet is just a way to do video conferencing. If you've never used it, it's pretty easy to use. So you can see here I'm on meet.google.com and I can just start a meeting or you can join it with a code. But if you're planning a lot of this ahead of time, it might be kind of difficult to do that. So I'm going to show you a way you can use Google Calendar to set that up really easily. So if I go over to my Google Calendar, what I'm going to do is I set up a brand new calendar just to keep all this on one single space so that my personal calendar, my school calendar isn't getting mixed up with what students can see. So I'm going to click here and then I'm going to create a new calendar and I'm just going to title it office hours for the sake of clarity. So when I create this calendar, I got a brand new calendar that I will use for this. So when I go to my office hours, the first thing I'm going to do is you can set up an event with Google Calendar that will automatically generate a code for a Google Hangouts meet. So I'm going to create, and I'm just going to call this office hours. And when I go to more options, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my calendar here. And you'll see here, you can actually set it up to repeat. So what I can do if I start it on March 16th, and let's just say I want to do from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So I want to have like an hour time set that I will be dedicated to being online to talk with students. But then what I can do is I can repeat it. So I can repeat it Monday through Friday. So it's going to set that up. Since we're going to have multiple weeks, what I'm going to do is actually set when it will end. So I know for at least the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing online instruction. So when I click this in there, it's going to add an event Monday through Friday for the next 2 weeks for students to see that I've got those office hours scheduled. So I've got my days set up. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this tab here where it says add conferencing, and then I'm just going to select Hangouts Meet. So what this will actually do is it's going to use this same URL right here for the entire time. So I don't have to have a separate code or a separate login link for each individual day. So that's going to help me stay organized. It's going to help students be able to find everything very easily. And you can post that link to that Google Meet like anywhere you need students to find it, whether it's Google Classroom, through email, anything like that. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is setting up an appointment slot. So one of the things that I realized is if I'm just going to be on video chat for an hour each day, if I have a lot of students log in at the same time, it's going to be very difficult for me to work with them individually. So what I did is I set up appointment slots. And what this will allow students to do is they can click on a time slot to specifically go one-on-one with you. So I'm going to click appointment slots, and then I'm just going to say, video conferencing. And it's going to go in my office hours calendar. And if you'll see here, it says slots with duration. So what I can do, rather than doing a single slot, I'm going to say slots with duration. And I just chose to do 5-minute increments. So what this is going to do, if I do my same time slots here, on March 16th, between 1 and 2, this is going to create 5-minute slots that students will be able to sign up for. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. So I'm going to click more options here. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I do it Monday through Friday, all the way up until the 26th. And then what I can do is I can actually, in the description here, I can copy and paste the link to my Google Meet video conference. So students can see that when they sign up for this time slot. So when I click save, what I'm gonna show you is if I go to video conferencing, and you see here it says go to appointment page for this calendar. So this is the URL that you're going to want to give students. So when you click on this, it's going to show you a calendar for this week. And so you can see here on Monday, I've got a bunch of little time slots. And so students can come in, and you see there from 1:55 to 2 p.m. video conferencing, these buttons will be available. And so you're going to click up here, and you can copy this URL to send to your students. They're going to see this page, and then they can just click on a button, and then they will sign up, and they'll just put their name in there and click save, and then it's going to set them up in there. Now it's going to be different because this is my account and I can't sign up for a slot, but when they click in there to sign up for a slot, that slot will be taken. So what I can have here is I can have a series of 5-minute slots for my students to sign up. That way they're not having to wait around for me to be available to them. If they know that their appointment is at 1:30 to 1:35, they can get on right around 1:30. And then I can get on there to conference with them and work with them individually. So hopefully this will help you guys out as you're moving to some of this online learning. Any of you that do a lot of one-on-one stuff with your students, this can potentially be a really helpful solution for you. If you have any questions, leave me some feedback, or you can find me on Twitter at Comic Socks.